Hi Kendra, this is Brian Bohr with Bohr Insurance Group here. I'd like to take just a few minutes to walk through the insurance program that is attached to my email, give you a couple of highlights and a few things to consider. And then of course, once you've had a chance to digest it, we can get back together and go through your questions and make any changes that you would like to see at that point. I like to do this just because I think it's important to know who you are working with, who's behind the scenes. I'm one of those guys that believes that the quality of your insurance agent has a huge impact on the success of your insurance program. So I want to make sure that you know who I am and that you want to and are comfortable working with me. To get started here, page 2 is just a brief summary of our agency. Talks a little bit about our approach to insurance planning, the way our service model is structured. There's also a link here to our Google reviews. If you have any questions about what's noted in here, just give me a call or shoot me an email. I'm happy to talk through this more specifically. And then page 3 is our written service plan. So kind of unusual. We actually think it's important that we have a written service plan for all of our clients. So it lays out what we're going to provide from an onboarding standpoint, of course, like getting the new insurance policy started, canceling the old ones, setting up the billing, but also from a continuous service standpoint, which to me is far more important. So obviously, you would have a dedicated and licensed agent. Spoiler alert, that would be me in your situation. We help with claims, we help with billing, we do annual reviews to make sure that everything's lined up the way you'd like it to be. And then, of course, being responsive to our clients in the manner and in the way that they prefer to communicate. If there's anything you're accustomed to from your insurance agent or something that is not laid out here that you would like to be, please let me know and I'm happy to address that. Now, the real meat of this insurance program starts here on page 4. You'll notice up here that this is with Auto Owners Insurance. That is the insurance company that I use personally. That's also who Janice uses. They are very competitive for certain clients. Those with high credit scores, those with young drivers. They like full coverage vehicles. They like clients that own homes. You fit very nicely into their niche. Also, you don't have to be legally married to qualify to combine insurance. So you'll notice up here that we have both you and James listed as the named insureds. Your daughter, of course, also she's included on this policy as well. Now, I'm suggesting a start date of August 1st, and we're looking at an annual premium of $54.72. That is for all 3 drivers and all 3 vehicles. Now, don't have a heart attack. Remember, that is an annual premium. So that breaks down to about $456 on a monthly basis. If we look at coverage, we're including very comparable coverage to what you have right now, meaning liability coverage or lawsuit coverage with $100,000 of protection on a per person basis, no more than $300,000 in any one accident. We do suggest more than that for all of our clients, but I have included a note down below about what it would cost to bump that up. Obviously, insurance is expensive, so you can't insure everything under the sun, but it's just something that I want to lay out for discussion. Also, personal injury protection, that's unique to Michigan. That's our medical coverage and our wage coverage. So we have comparable coverage here to what you have currently, meaning excess medical coverage. So your health insurance provider would first step up if you're hurt in a car accident, then those expenses would go to the auto insurance policy on an unlimited basis. And then also wage loss coverage, which pays for lost wages for up to 3 years from the date of an accident. For coverage specific to the vehicle, it is shown down here. Comprehensive coverage and collision coverage, both with a $1,000 deductible. That is what you have currently. That's what I'm using here. Comprehensive coverage is hitting a deer or glass breakage or theft or fire, vandalism, a tree falling. Those type of things are paid by comprehensive. Collision coverage is hitting a vehicle or a stop sign or a tree or having somebody hit your vehicle while it's parked. So any sort of those damages, you would be responsible for the first $1,000 of the repair cost. Then the insurance policy will step in and pay for the rest. Specifically, I should note that you do have full glass coverage, meaning if there is a chipped windshield or a cracked windshield, your insurance policy will pay for that cost of replacing it without you contributing anything out of pocket. So $1,000 deductible for anything except for glass. If it's glass, no deductible. I did include a note down below of bumping these deductibles down a little bit. These are higher than what I typically see, but again, it's up to you how you like to line that up, so no problem either way. Now for the Escape, this vehicle has the same liability coverage, the same medical coverage, but then you'll notice there's no comprehensive coverage, no collision coverage down here. This is what's considered PLPD. And then for the Civic, same coverage as what we reviewed up above on the Explorer. Same liability, same medical. Then here's the comprehensive coverage, $1,000 deductible, collision coverage, $1,000 deductible. And then again, I did include roadside assistance on all three vehicles. And the Civic and the Explorer include rental car reimbursement, also known as additional expense. That pays $30 a day if you need a loaner while your car is in the shop after an accident. So again, on the auto insurance side of things, premium is really favorable. You fit very, very nicely into auto owners' niche. On a monthly basis, it's basically $456 per month. Now on the home insurance side of things, we're going to give back a little bit of the premium here on the home insurance, but in general, it still looks awfully good. There are a couple things we can revise, which we'll talk about over the phone. But again, suggesting an August 1st start date on the home insurance. This too would be with auto owners insurance. I'm sure you're aware that it's almost always favorable to have all of your insurance policies with the same insurance company. It avoids a lot of confusion. It's generally the most favorable from a rating standpoint in total. I certainly suggest that here as well. So again, we've got both of you listed as the insureds here. Your daughter, even though she's away at school, would also would also be considered covered under this home insurance policy. Dwelling coverage is kind of the leading coverage on home insurance. This is the rebuilding coverage for the home structure itself. Your policy right now has $276,000 of coverage on it. That's what I'm including here. Personal property is your family's stuff. So that's clothes and furniture and electronics and sports equipment. All that stuff is considered here. So this is included automatically at 70% of the coverage amount on the home. So just shy of $200,000 for your family's stuff. Lawsuit coverage. Again, this is what's protecting you in the event of a lawsuit if someone falls down the stairs or slips in the driveway, giving you $500,000 to settle that lawsuit before that other person can come after you personally. Now, one significant difference versus your Allstate policy, auto owners is using a $1,000 deductible here. They don't give you hardly any benefit of bumping that deductible up like some insurance companies do. So I don't see a huge reason to bump it up to $2,500 like you have right now. So in the event of a claim, of course, you're going to be $1,500 ahead using this policy here, given that you're going to keep $1,500 in your pocket in way of the deductible. Now there's a few kind of filler coverages and some popular coverages that most of our clients include on their home insurance. We can talk about these in more detail over the phone. They're basically specific to the family or specific to the home, but we can kind of go through that together to decide if anything should be beefed up or trimmed out before we get anything started. Now, I did mention that down at the end, I do have a couple of coverage changes for you to consider. One of them is loan or lease gap coverage. Some of the leases or loans will include that automatically. If it is not included, you may want to add that to the auto insurance policy. Depending on how much you put down on the loan or on the lease, we can talk about adding that if you would like to. And then I did mention on the comprehensive and collision coverage deductibles, if you bump that from $1,000 down to $250, it would cost $52 per month. So it saves you $750 out of pocket in the event of a claim. Of course, it costs something to do that, which is $52 a month. By no means do you have to, but something that I thought was worth pointing out. I also touched on the liability coverage. Right now you have $100,000 of liability coverage, meaning that's your lawsuit protection if you cause an accident and end up being sued. You could bump that up to what our agency suggests as a minimum amount of $500,000. That would add $77 per month. Again, you're not obligated to do it, just something that we think is important, and so I want to make a note of what it would cost to do that. I did not see water backup coverage on your home insurance policy. Now, we can talk about exactly what that does. It's an expensive coverage, so I want to get your input before we add that in. And then finally, a kind of a premium management strategy here. Auto Owners has a multi-policy discount for any client that has any life insurance policy with them. So it can be just a small minimum value life insurance policy and still add a 5% discount to your auto and home insurance. What I like to do is add the smallest life insurance policy possible, costs about $75 a year, and then qualify for that discount on the auto and home insurance. That would bring those costs down by $290 a year. So you're putting over $200 back in your pocket every year. Plus, you've got a free, small life insurance policy. I'm not trying to convince you to buy life insurance. This is just a very small policy. It's only being suggested as a way of bringing down your total insurance costs. So, a couple things for you to consider. We can talk about these again over the phone in more detail, but wanted to get this over to you so you can take a quick look through it, jot your questions down. We can go through them, make any changes, make sure that we're on the same page before we get anything rolling. So thanks again for your time. I appreciate it, and I look forward to talking with you again shortly. Thanks.